Hello and welcome to Wolf-N-Shorty Reviews. Today, much later than I expected, we're going to be doing a review on the C17 dash camera. This is by Telico. I've actually had this for right about 2 months now. I actually would have had this done a lot sooner, however there was a slight issue, which we'll get into shortly. This camera currently on Amazon is $24.99 with Prime shipping. It says it's a 1080p 120 degree lens, has full HD 1920 by 1080 video at 30 frames per second. You have a 3-inch screen at the very back. Let's see if there's anything else. It holds up to a 32 gigabyte SD card, which mounts right there. So far, it's a fairly nice setup. It's a little heavier than some of the other ones. So I mean, it's obviously a better quality built for the materials used, at least. They use a heavier material. Probably handle a lot more bumps and maneuvers without cracking something on it. I'm not sure. I think they did this just for looks, but the little numbers on it, no use at all. It doesn't actually rotate anything. One thing I will bring up to begin with is the native language on this thing when you first turn it on is Chinese. I've seen people complain that it's a bad camera. They couldn't figure out how to change the settings. I actually contacted Telico about this. They sent me a link for some firmware update. The newer ones may be preset with firmware updates. I found it to be less than a minute to figure out how to do it. I can't activate the camera because the battery on here isn't very long. I'll attempt it, but they're not designed to carry around and take pictures. They are designed to hook up and leave running at all times. But basically you hit menu, you go menu again, and you go down to where it says language, which is there. You hit OK, and you go down till it says English, or I guess English is there. It came originally set as the number 6. So, simple. You hit that little button twice, the arrow down if you need to. If it doesn't already say English, top one, go till it says English, hit the button here, it says OK, and you're good. You've got yourself a English language camera. That simple. Complaining about something like that is a waste of time. It's just technology. If you can't figure out this kind of stuff, find someone who's younger. They'll figure it out in a heartbeat. Unfortunately, a lot of younger ones are figuring stuff out that I should be able to, and I'm not that old. So as technology advances, that's where the youth come in handy. Now this camera, of course, was provided to me free. I actually had everything ready except for I had the recording for the review done about a month ago, and Acer, as great as they are, my less than 2-month-old computer, the main motherboard went out. It's their build problem. I had to send it back to them. Got it back last week. It took about 3 weeks to get it there, fixed, and back. So I was out without a computer for about a month. So that's the problem. That's why it's taken so long to get this. Overall, this camera, when compared to the C21, which is almost twice the price, I believe, this camera actually is very good. The night quality is not quite up to par to the C21, but it does show very good at night if you have good headlights. All these cameras, they don't have crap for night vision. You're not going to get night vision or thermal vision on a budget dash cam. These things are designed to show mostly daytime and give an idea what's going on at night with what your headlights show. If you have crap headlights, replace your headlights with quality ones. These will work great. If you don't want to do that, either spend more on a better quality camera or just do what you can, use it, and at least it'll show something. Something's better than nothing. Now it's different than this on this camera than most of them. Most of these cameras use a slide type locking system. You hook this into some kind of a notch on the top, slide it forward, or just slide it across it, it'll lock in and you're good to go. That seems to be your primary way of doing things. This camera is slightly different, which is another reason why this took a little bit longer. The C21, if you watch the review, the suction cup itself underneath here broke, and I could no longer use it, and I wanted to test the C21 because it was the more expensive and higher quality one, so I figured test that one first. So I actually took this one apart, pulled that little pin out, took the lever here off, pulls the suction cup with the center point and the spring, mounted those into the C21 and got it working. And the replacement suction cup for that one came in, took almost a month to get it in because it came from China. It took a while for it to ship, but Telico did send it to me for free straight away, didn't have any problems. Very good working with them, and they actually sent me one that has an extended slide for it because that's a slide-on style, which is a nice setup. This camera uses a screw-on style, which is quite simple. Once you get it started, take it down to the point where you want to use it for your dash cam. So this would not, this isn't bad, but it's a little off. Twist it back till you're lined up right, and you actually can screw down the, it's almost like a locking screw thing. Just have to get it worked out to where it's loose enough to go in. There you go. Put it in the position you want, twist that until it locks it in place, and now the camera will mount without a problem. And it's got your standard ball and cup design, so you move it around, but it's still firm, and that works perfectly. So I like this style. It does lock it in. It's not going to slide off, but it's a little bit more difficult to take this camera off the windshield easily. The other ones, you usually slide them right off. That's the problem, is it's easy to have them slide off. If you bump them wrong or get into an accident, they might slide off of it. This one won't. It's locked in and it holds. Now of course you have your OK button. You have, not quite sure what the M does. Let's see how long I can keep this thing going. Okay, so M's going to let you look through your files. Of course, you have your lock button, so you can lock your file if you want. And you have your power button, which actually power works for your light too. It's for night vision. It doesn't work because this little light does not show you anything on the street. It just, if you want to have it in your car facing your passengers, then you can use that. It'll show what's around you. Or if you get stopped, turn around, turn the light on, and it shows the interior of your vehicle. It's a good idea to keep yourself protected. You have your SD card, you have your arrow up, menu, and arrow down. Menu is where you're going to be able to adjust your resolution. Loop recording, which gives you, you can go from off 1 minute, 3 minutes, or 5 minutes. You can do exposure up and down, so if you are at night, you can always change your exposure to get a little bit lighter. It should work for most people. You can record audio. Motion detection, if you have it as a constant on when it's stopped. Date and time stamp. WDR, I'll have to look into that more. I'm still not sure exactly what that's supposed to do. Your G sensor, if the vehicle is hit, it'll actually start recording or it'll lock it. And parking wake. I don't ever have this thing running when it's parked because I don't want to come out to a dead battery. You have your date and time. You can preset them, so that way when you do the other side, for the first menu where it does your timestamp, it'll be done properly, so you always have the right date and time on it. Auto power off, usually it'll automatically power off as soon as you stop your car. You can have it set to go 30 seconds, 1 minute, or 3 minutes. So if you stop your car and you want to have a chance to record a few more minutes when you're getting out, you can do it that way. You can change your beep sound, your language, frequency. If you see signs that are flashing, you can change the frequency and it'll help eliminate some of the flashing. It's generally the frequency that the signs are broadcasting the light at, something like that. Generally you're not going to notice yourself, but it picks up on cameras. So it's a weird design. If you want to do it, you can. It's not really necessary. You can do screensaver, which will shut down the screen when you're driving, which is not too bad. Your lamp setting, which on or off or auto. I usually just keep ours off. Car plate, you can set your vehicle's plate on here, so that way it shows this is what your vehicle is. If you ever do a recording and show in court or something, then you can format your card, default settings, and check your version. Which version, if you update to the new firmware, that should change and it'll show that it's going to be set to English and everything else is updated. So very basic. A lot of your stuff, low batteries flashing, so it's going to shut down. See, you don't get very long on these things. And the point is, it's not designed to take out like this and use as a point and shoot camera. It is designed for car. You mount it, there's your plug-in for your power. It comes about 13 feet of the plug for, this isn't actually the one for it, but you know, you have your standard cigarette lighter plug, and you usually get a crap ton of cable that all wraps around the frame of your windshield down into your power supply, and that's how you keep your thing running. If you have an always on power supply, it's a good idea to get a power supply shut off switch. You plug it in, has a little box, you plug your camera into that, and you flip a switch, shuts it down. This will prevent your battery from going dead, or you can just pull the plug on the system, but you remember to plug it back in before you drive off, or else you've got no evidence what happens. If you really want to, which I guess a lot of the Asian countries will do, I guess most of Europe will do it too, they get battery backup systems in their cars that will keep these things running when they're parked, which is why you get the motion sensor, the parking sensor, and the G sensors on them. So it'll just sit here and it'll have enough power that if there's motion, it'll detect it and start recording. If your car gets bumped, it'll start recording. So if somebody backs into your car, it activates, records, and as they drive off, you'll get the license plate number. It's not a bad option. Around here, I don't see a point in having a battery backup. If my vehicle gets backed into and someone takes off, I might start doing that. You do have an HDMI port on top. You can always hook it straight up to a TV or a computer to play the videos from here onto it, but generally I'm just going to hook it up through there to unload it or pull the card. Either way, when you plug it into a computer, it actually gives you two options. It'll come on and you have mass storage or PC camera. Now mass storage lets you take everything off your card and review it. You keep what you want, you can format your card. If something's locked, you can delete it from your computer. You can't override it on the loop recording if it's locked, but you can delete it from your computer or from the system when you take it off. Now doing this as a PC computer or PC camera, it actually is not too bad. The quality of the video is actually pretty good. If I had somewhere up here to mount it, this might actually be an option if I no longer need it as a car camera. Mount it up somewhere and start using this just as a PC computer or camera so you have something extra. This actually has a better camera than the HP Pavilion 23 all-in-one that I'm on right now. And actually it's better than the Acer computer. And this lovely thing that they ended up screwing up when they built, and motherboard went out. So those are the video files I'm going to be going through and pulling copies of. I've got a bunch of them. For a 32 gigabyte card, I actually have there's 29 files in this folder, which is 20 gigabytes. And this one has $11 files for 7.45. So I have 27.45 gigabytes and about 40 files recorded. So that's what saves for a 32 gigabyte card. That's a lot. And these are usually broken into 5-minute sections. So you can do a lot of recording on a 32 gigabyte card. You know, you have at least a couple of days unless you do a lot of driving. You know, Shorty goes an hour to work each way, so she has 2 hours of drive time. So on this type of a camera, she can usually run about 2 days worth of back and forth, and all the little turn the car on and it records before it starts to overwrite. And that's a good amount. Something happens, she has it. Problem is, if something happens 3 days later, they want to ask, somebody calls, hey, where were you this time? You don't have the recording. And saving this much data, you better have a whole backup server system before you can save it all. But for the most part, for what this camera is, for $25, compared to some of the other cameras I've seen, it's a hell of a nice camera. It works well. It sets up on your dash, on the window, very well. I've had absolutely zero problem with the suction cup on it. It's easy to use. I actually keep the light off because if you have a dirty windshield, it will show the dirt easier. You know, if I was going to have, say, decide to pick up a hitchhiker just because I want to be nice and it's raining, I'd probably turn the light on and turn around facing them and just tell them flat out, you want to ride, you're on camera the whole time. If they say something or do something stupid, I have proof. So if I've got to beat the crap out of them and kick them back out, there's proof as to why I had to do that for my own defense. So, you know, there's good options to it. There's better cameras out there, but for $25, you're going to be hard pressed to get them. If you want something better at night, go for the C21. If you want something that's just going to work overall and just work well, this is a good camera. Hook it up, use it. You know, better have that extra protection than to sit back and hope you don't need it, because when it comes down to it, you're going to need something if there's an accident. It's your word against the other person. No way to prove it. You need something to protect yourself, keep your insurance from going up, and keep you from getting a ticket. You never know when someone's going to complain about you and you got no proof you didn't do anything wrong. So, if you like the video, be sure to hit like. If you want to, subscribe. I'm going to get back into these reviews because it's got the computer back with all my files on it. We'll see what we can get done. Hopefully the computer holds up. It's an Acer, so they're not really holding up much trust with me now with their crap build. And they also didn't hook up the right speaker when they fixed the computer, so we'll see how it all works. But we'll get some more reviews done, post up the videos. I'll be out of here in about just shy of 2 weeks for a cruise. So keep watching, you'll see some videos pop up for that, I think, for the cruise. But hit a like, hit a subscribe, and if you want to check out more of this camera, look up Telico, T-E-L-I-C-O, through Amazon. Link for the camera will be in the description below. See what you think. Thank you much. Have a nice day.